Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I'm 29 male. My partner is 25 male. And my coworker is about 22 female. My coworker, who we'll call Tiffany, is one of those likable but flaky people. She's nice, but she's a bit of an airhead. Tiffany got unexpectedly pregnant a year before we started working together, and the father is not involved. I know this because she tends to make vent posts on social media that are open to anyone who's following her. She posts a lot about issues with her kid because her kid has a disability. My partner loves kids. He's a social worker, and he raised his siblings growing up. I think his ideal family would be the Brady Bunch. I don't want kids, so we compromised by getting a dog. He saw one of her posts about 3 years ago and DM'd her, telling her that he's helped kids with her kid's disability and he'd be happy to give her some advice. Since then, he's been very involved with her and her kid's life. Pre-quarantine, he would go over all the time and help out, and stay on the phone with her when she was having a crisis. I never had any problem with it because her kid has a lot of issues, and I know Tiffany was drowning in it. I also want to say I've never been jealous at all because although my partner also likes women, he's bi. He's just like this. Anyway, during quarantine, the relationship has started to annoy me. Tiffany and her kid will FaceTime my partner while we're watching a movie so he can tell the kid a bedtime story. He'll tell me that he misses seeing Tiffany and the kid because they're like family to him. When we finally went back to work yesterday, Tiffany told me how much her child misses my partner and how all of the things he's been doing for them have been really getting them through the hard times. I agreed that what my partner was doing was nice, but then I told her that if her kid is missing him, the relationship is starting to get unhealthy. My partner is not your child's father, and he shouldn't be taking that place in their life. I told my partner, and he said I was being a D. He said that the kid could only benefit from having a good male role model, and that if the kid sees him as a father figure, there's nothing wrong with that. He also apologized to Tiffany. I don't really see where what I did was wrong. Creating boundaries is important. Am I an a-hole? Yes, creating boundaries is important, but OP stomped all over a lot of people to do so. See, OP needed to discuss this with his partner first. He needed to tell him how he was feeling and what he thought a workable solution might be, and discuss it with him. Once the two worked it out, it would have been his job to bring these new boundaries to Tiffany and reinforce them. Instead, OP tried to create boundaries for someone else, and he was rude about it. Every year, my boyfriend goes all out for his mom on holidays and her birthday. He'll buy her an expensive cake on her birthday and a fancy dinner. Last year, he gave her $300 in gift cards, and that alone doesn't bother me. She's a hardworking woman, and she deserves it. But the way he treats me when it's my turn makes me feel like crap. My birthday and Christmas are about 2 weeks apart, and he told me I have to choose either 2 small gifts or 1 big gift on Christmas. I always go all out for him on Christmas and his birthday. So it kind of hurt because he is very financially comfortable and I am not. This happens every year. I said I would wait for Christmas for a gift, but if we could go eat dinner on my birthday, and he said yes. Then today, he asked me to order his mom's cake for him because her birthday is on Sunday. It's a very expensive cake, so as I am ordering it, it's my favorite cake, and he knows this, although I have only ever had individual slices. I asked him if I can get one for my birthday too. I was asking more to see what he would say, since I would feel pretty bad if he spent that much money on a cake for me. He's also never bought me a cake on my birthday, even a simple grocery store one. He gets mad and tells me, "You pressure me. Remember, I still have to buy gifts." He also plans to spend a lot of money on his mom this year for Christmas, as always. They will also be going to a fancy dinner on Sunday as well, which I cannot attend for reasons. These things just make me feel really bad about myself. It makes me feel like maybe I don't work hard enough to deserve it. However, I also feel like that's his mom, and she does deserve it more than I do. I feel selfish for wanting to be given the same treatment as the woman who gave him life and has been there way longer than I have, obviously. For context, We have been together for 5 years. We want to get married and we're completely soulmates. He assures me of that every day, so it's not like our relationship is new and he's unsure about me still, or something like that. I don't plan on bringing it up, because I feel so guilty for having these feelings. But regardless, am I an a-hole for feeling this way? OP is definitely not an a-hole here. He's acting as if he's married to his mom, and OP is the side girl. Is OP sure they are soulmates? He doesn't seem to be very in touch with OP's feelings, and doesn't seem to put much effort into making sure OP feels cared for. Making OP pick between her birthday and Christmas? Jesus! OP should find someone who will spoil her the way they should. Update. I spoke to him about it today after all of you helped me realize I wasn't just being materialistic. It started off bad. He said I was being selfish because he doesn't buy his mom anything all year aside from her birthday and Christmas, which is true. He does treat me to food often, especially on special occasions like if I ace a university exam or something like that. When we couldn't see each other because of the pandemic, he would drop off food sometimes and got me a plushie I had been wanting for a while. Then he said I didn't even know what I was getting and made it seem like it's going to be something that exceeded my expectations. I said I was expecting less because of previous years, which pissed him off. I then explained it to him like this. I got upset when we were entering college together years ago, and his mom bought him a laptop, and then bought his sister a laptop that was way better than his, even though she didn't need it. He didn't mind it at all, said I was overreacting. I told him my parents always treated my siblings and I fair with gifts. If I got a Nintendo DS as a kid for Christmas, then my brothers got one too at the same time. They always taught us that we had to be fair so nobody felt left out, and because they loved us equally. He has always gotten less than his sister, embarrassingly less, to the point where it's super awkward to watch them open presents, because she's autistic. It doesn't bother him at all, even though it mortifies me. He literally doesn't care. Says he knows his mom loves him the same and shows it in other ways, which is why I think he doesn't see why I am upset. When I explained it like this, he apologized to me and seemed to understand why I felt this way. He seemed hurt, asking if he thinks that's what determines his love for me. I said no, but regardless, it made me feel less. He calmed down and said it's okay to want gifts, and that he thinks he understands that gifts are a love language for me. Not something I expect every day, but would want more attention on my birthday and Christmas. And I was over the moon that he understood. I think we're on the same page, but we'll see how the holidays play out. I'm female 22, on a fitness journey after 7+ years of struggling with eating disorders and health issues. So now I'm focusing on my health and losing weight. I started to do intermittent fasting and eating healthier. This is a really sensitive time for me, as I really struggle with body dysmorphia, image issues, and all-around self-hate due to my weight, which, if you struggle with your body, you know what I mean. My mom took note of the new eating habits and started to seem really supportive since she is also on a fitness journey herself. And I mentioned in excitement at a family dinner that I had so far lost 13 pounds. And she basically said, "How did you lose more weight than me? I work harder than you. I eat better, blah blah blah. And, well, maybe it's because you're so fat to begin with that you've lost so much." I want to quickly explain that my mother has always been someone who felt in competition with her daughters. My sister and I often talk about it. And whenever one of us does something good, she tries to one-up it. My sister graduated college, so my mom announced the day after her graduation that she was going back for her master's degree. My other sister was pregnant. At the baby shower, my mom announced her engagement, which broke off a month later. So I brushed it off and the conversation naturally shifted as we all sat down for dinner. I was serving myself some mashed potatoes, and she said, "Oh, already looking to pack those 13 pounds back on." And I ignored her, because I'm trying to learn that you can have good food in moderation, but she kept on. Some of the things she said were, "You're eating so much. Don't you want to keep losing weight? You're gonna gain it all back. Your under eyes and skin are looking really sunken and dark. You're eating too much starch. You're eating too much gluten." Just generally attacking me and my appearance. And I finally lost it. I called her jealous, hateful, and spiteful, and told her that if she focused on herself and her own goals, she'd get where she needed to be. I told her to mind her own business and told her that her being ducking miserable does not mean that she can make me miserable too. I told her to focus on her skin, her crow's feet, and her eating habits, and leave me the hell alone. This made her cry, and now 2 of my 4 siblings aren't talking to me because I know how she is and I should have ignored her, and I was really harsh. I'm refusing to apologize because all I was doing was defending myself. She's refusing to apologize because I should respect my elders and other family members, she told, because she called them all crying about how rude and nasty I was, are on her side and also not talking to me. She's pretty much isolated me from my entire family and pointed me as this huge a-hole, and it's really messing with me. So am I the a-hole for firing back at her? Should I apologize? OP is not an a-hole. She pushed and pushed and pushed until OP snapped. I don't blame OP. Was OP mean? Of course. Did she deserve it? Absolutely. OP is 22 years old. It's about time she focused on herself, continued to put herself first, and cut toxic people out of her life. Yeah, she's OP's mom, but so what? No one needs that kind of negativity. Maybe in a bit OP can consider reopening communication with her, but for now, OP is better off without that in her life. I became best friends with Kayla in university. As university life goes, people want to experiment with their S, and so did Kayla. At the time, I kind of had a thing for Kayla, so I was happy to be her experiment buddy. We were in a relationship for 2 months before Kayla decided that dating girls wasn't her thing, and she was straight. I was okay with it. I preferred having Kayla as my best friend anyways, so it wasn't some major dramatic breakup that broke our friendship. We were still besties, and Kayla invited me over to her parents' house. I met Kyle, Kayla's older brother. As soon as we started getting close, I fell hard, and I mean hard. Kayla was cool with our relationship, and it wasn't like a dating my sibling's ex thing because Kayla and I didn't really see the relationship we had as an actual romantic relationship. So me and Kyle started dating, and I can tell you, he's the absolute love of my life, and we got engaged a few months ago. Woo! I was on cloud 9. I love him so much, and as an added bonus, Kayla just went from my best friend to my sister. However, I wouldn't be making this post if something didn't happen. Kayla's family was a little skeptical when me and Kayla were pretty open about the fact that we did date. They were worried it would affect our relationship, so the concern was real. Then they realized that there was no hard feelings at all, and everything was chill on that side. When we announced our engagement to my family, everyone was ecstatic, and we had a celebratory dinner. My sister said right in the middle of dinner how nice it is that I got to have a sibling trial run before going for the deal. I just kind of sat there in disbelief that she said that, and Kyle told her off in a polite way. She then proceeds to double down and asks how nice it must have been to duck around in the same family. And I told her that the reason she doesn't have a S life is because she's too busy caring about others, and she needs to stop being jealous I got the best of both worlds. Kyle and most of the family, including Grandma, started laughing at her, and she left the table. Later, she pulled me aside and told me I was the a-hole for talking about our private conversations with the family like that. She texted me when she was drunk that she doesn't have a S life. My mom also pulled me aside and told me I was the a-hole for letting Kyle laugh at my sister like that, and that's going to start them off on a bad relationship. Kyle thinks it was hilarious, but there's an obvious bias right there. My dad laughed too, but has since said that my mom is right. So, am I the a-hole? OP's sister sucks for bringing up the fact that OP slept with her fiancé's sister. OP's fiancé sucks for insulting OP's sister. And OP sucks for letting her fiancé make fun of her and stooping to her level. I think all 3 of them need to grow up.